I like to call watercolors a free spirit. You can't tame them, they just do whatever it is they want to without a bit of care. This is why we can't fight watercolors, because instead it will just make your painting worse. But if you learn how to work with them, you can create great masterpieces that you can enjoy. It will also make painting a lot more enjoyable and relaxing. Watercolors are one of my favorite painting mediums to paint with, but it took me quite a bit of learning how to use them to finally enjoy painting with them. First, when painting in watercolor, something to keep in mind is that we work in layers lightest to dark. If you have worked with acrylics or oil paints, you'll realize that this is the opposite. Watercolor is a transparent medium, meaning the previous layer is going to show through the layer you just put down. This also means that if you put down a dark layer and try to put a lighter layer on top, there's a good chance you won't see the lighter layer because the darker layer is showing through. So in order to put highlights in our painting, we need a way to figure out how to preserve those highlights from the beginning. There are a few different ways we can do this, but we need to plan out our entire painting so we don't accidentally cover these highlights. Here are a few ways we can do this. The thing that I like to use is masking fluid. Masking fluid is a fluid that you apply to your paper where you want highlights to go, and it allows you to paint over it, then rub it off when you're done painting. It's pretty cool. I like to use this on my mountains where I want snow to be, or in areas that I want to paint later but need a darker layer right up next to it. Another method is lifting highlights. Lifting out paint is when you put down a layer of paint, and before it dries you take a dry brush and lift paint by swiping paint out of the puddle. The last method is simply going around the areas that you want as highlights. You might be thinking this is easier said than done, but if you have practice and patience, it will become easier with time. Honestly, the method is probably what breaks a lot of your guys' paintings. You accidentally cover up a light area and you try to fix it, but you make it worse in the process. This is one of the reasons why I like to call watercolor the free spirit of paints, because you can't really fight it, it just does whatever it wants, and you kind of just have to go with it, even if it wasn't what you had planned. This brings me to my next topic. When you place down 2 or more colors in an area, and they just pull together and become a brownish black muddy color that you did not want in there. This probably also breaks some of your guys' paintings. You want to try to fix it, and once again, it makes it worse in the end. Well, you're in luck because I have some tips for you to fix this problem. The first one is learning color theory. If you learn color theory, you will understand what colors work well together and which ones don't work as well, and what will happen when any sort of colors you mix together. This will help you understand the outcome when you put 2 or more colors next to each other. Another tip is to let the layer dry before putting down another color. Sometimes when watercoloring, you are blocking in an area with your paint, and you want to put a different color right next to it. But when you do this, the paint that you previously put down bleeds into the other area. If you had let that layer dry first, before putting down the other color right next to it, it would have prevented it from bleeding. If you don't want it to air dry because, well, let's be honest here, that takes forever, just use a blow dryer or a heat gun. Water evaporates from thermal energy, so really any heat source will help it dry quicker, and you can get back to painting quicker. Keep in mind that as you paint, work lightest to dark and preserve your lights. Learn how different colors interact with each other so you don't make a muddy mess. And just know that watercolors are untamable, so that's why we learn how to work with them instead. I hope this was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite tip was. Until next time, have a blessed day.